all your school rugby, all in one place. This is NextGenXV. Alright guys, welcome to NextGen15, and in today's video we are going to continue our series looking at the 2022 junior recruits, and this time we'll be looking at the Lions. So if you are new to our channel, please don't forget to click that subscribe button as well as bell notification, and as soon as new videos are released you'll be the first to know. So, as usual with the Lions, there's a lot of quality over quantity. They don't generally mass recruit, and their recruitment policy has been on point. Obviously, they were fantastic in last year's under-20 national competition, being the winners ultimately, with the under-19, under-20 and under-21 competitions, as mentioned before, taking place this year. You definitely expect that there will be a lot more depth across the age groups and a lot of quality as well. But let's get into the list of Lions recruits for 2022. So first up, Bronson Mills. Very underrated flower of prospect, guys. He's a Kes boy, controlled their backline very well. Very rare that Kes beats Uffies, and they did so last year. And Bronson is definitely one of those guys that's sort of like an architect of the backline. Very, very educated boot. General all-around player is very good. I definitely think you can see a lot of him. And I definitely think that he can play in multiple positions in the backline. Very interesting player, very creative player, great signing. The fact that he's a Kes boy, stayed in the Lions area is fantastic, obviously. Then Daniel Boerter. Now, Daniel's only been playing rugby for a couple of years, obviously a giant lock. But the talent just absolutely shone through, was part of that Maritzburg pack that I've spoken about quite a bit in previous videos. It looked touch and go in terms of him getting a contract, but the Lions ultimately came through for him, and it was a great signing for the Lions, and definitely looking forward to seeing Daniel's development in the future. You know, when you consider that he only really started playing rugby as an under-16, it's very much been a meteoric rise for the youngster. Up next, JP Swanepoel, a very much an unsung hero, front row grunt, to say the least. Very powerful scrummager. Also like highly mobile, as most modern props should be. Apparently it was one of the first names on the Lions list for their 22 recruitment drive, and you know, I think in terms of this year, him playing alongside guys from sort of more established schools and being surrounded by a similar level of talent is going to help him really shine through. Definitely look forward to seeing him in action this year. Then Keegan Smith from Pole Boys. Interesting that Western Province retained quite a bit of talent this year, but didn't retain him. Who can never forget that monster tackle against Monument? It really announced him on the stage back in 2020. Part of a very formidable Pole Boys backline in 2021. Unfortunately, there was quite a few injuries, so the backline never really got much of a chance to settle. Keegan's very much able to play at centre, but also a fantastic wing option as well. So definitely offers the Lions depth in very much key positions. Kelly MPEKU, part of the MPEKU clan, very talented sporting family. Apparently there were all sorts of unions after him, but the Lions finally managed to secure his signature, which is fantastic. Another Kes boy, and obviously great that the Lions have recruited from within, unlike some of the other unions who've actually had to go outside their own borders. So really happy for Kelly. I think he's just going to do some absolutely lethal damage this year. Guy's got pace in spades, very, very lethal step, and very underrated on defense as well. Total package player. Leighton Horn, scrum off from Uffies, didn't get much of a chance to showcase his ability. Uffies definitely weren't at their best last year, but I mean, they came across some, a rampant Oakdale team, obviously. Leighton was being part of the EPD squads for quite some time, obviously very highly rated within the SARU structures. Played second fiddle to Johan Muller in 2020, so 2021 was definitely going to be his time to shine, unfortunately, due to the situation. Wasn't given much of an opportunity to showcase his full range of abilities, but very, very exciting young talent, and just can't wait to see him get into the get stuck in, and definitely an interesting player. I mean, Afis are known to produce very high quality scrum offs, and I think he's just going to become one of those high quality players that have been produced along the assembly line. Mano Grobler, Waterkloof hooker. I just feel sorry for this guy. Last year was just a freak year in terms of the hooker position. I mean, Luca Bacchus, Brayton Bach, Bryce Calvert, and still he was within the mix. I think he was in the standby squad for the South African schools team. He's what you'd call, what the Afrikaners call an acer, proper hard man, leads from the front, very physical player. And I think in any other year, he would have been in like the SA schools mix, maybe even a starter. But like I said, last year was just a freak year in terms of hookers and the depth within that position. Then Ruan Venter. Ruan came out of nowhere. We knew about him when he was still at Sutherland, obviously, because quite a few people sent us his details. Very impressive player. The question was, when he moved to Paul Boys, could he make the transition? And the answer was a resounding yes. This guy's an extraordinary athlete. I mean, I think he scored with his first touch of the ball for Paul Boys. And I mean, how often do you see that? He's capable of playing as a lock. I personally like him as a number 7. I think that's where his sort of future is in the game. Has to be part of the SA Under-20 mix this year. I mean, you definitely expect that to be the case. I don't know what more you can say about this guy. He played in the under-20 competition last year while still a schoolboy, and was one of the dominant players. And a lot of people weren't happy that we didn't include him in our team of the tournament. But at the same time, it's hard to do that when he's only played 3 or 4 games. But within those 3 or 4 games, he was absolutely fantastic, and I think he's just going to carry on with that form, and be left in no doubt that it's going to be not long before he makes his senior debut for the Lions. And, once that happens, who knows where he can go from there. But he's definitely going to be ready to make the step up very soon, one feels. Then Sam Francis from St Andrews, fly-off. Silky, smooth hands, skills, complete package. Him and Bronson Mills, very similar profiles. Sam's a highly creative player. The rugby IQ in this kid is extraordinary, seriously. I just love the way that St Andrews College in Grahamstown, I love their structures. I love the way they coach their players, that sort of open and expansive style of play that they have. And I think Sam epitomized that. And I think it's absolutely fantastic that he got a contract with the Lions. And I think he's going to shine. But like I said, it's going to be a battle between him and Bronson, and it's definitely going to bring out the best in one of them. Then SJ Kotze, couldn't get a better photo, unfortunately. I apologize. Paul Boys, like I said, last year they had problems with injuries. On paper, to me, number 1 team in the country on paper. But, when you got injuries to key players, obviously it makes things very, very difficult. But SJ still, showed that he's still got that ability. He's a very tough and uncompromising prop, very, very solid in the scrum. You sort of just get the feeling that, he's going to be one of those guys that is going to really take this opportunity with both hands, because he's a hell of a worker as well. So very interesting to see his development pathway at the Lions, and someone that really did deserve a contract. And then Tion Wessels, this guy's a monster. I mean, when I saw the size of him on the field last year, I just thought to myself, like, what is this? How could this even be a schoolboy? He literally just brushed off tacklers like it was a joke, honestly. And it's another player that just doesn't rely purely on his size. He's a very skillful player as well. Gameplay awareness is just extraordinary. He just knows where to be at the right time, at the right place. Almost immovable in terms of the breakdown. Once you give this guy even an inch, he's going to be taking every single. He's going to take a yard. won some key turnovers for his team. I believe that he was at RTS, and then obviously due to the situation over there, moved over to Monument, fitted in with the team over there, fitted in with the Monas culture. You know, that whole Monas culture of hard rugby and uncompromising rugby suited him very nicely. If I do compare him to somebody, I already see him as a future Willem Alberts type player. I'm very, very excited to see what's going to happen with him. And I just think him and Ruan Venter together, you know, as a loose trio, is just it's going to cause some real damage, guys. Definitely. Just keep an eye on these guys. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot for taking the time to watch the video. As usual, there is potential that we missed out on some players. Like I said, we've contacted the unions on multiple occasions before, never received one email. So we just do the best we can with the information that we have at hand. But anyway, as always, have a fantastic week further. Cheers. Bye.